Today on Monkey Life. After years in a cage, new chimp Nari sees the big outdoors for the first time.
Here she comes. All right.
Nari! Hi, you!
But will she stay grounded? And Alison's busy playing mum to a baby loris.
Excellent job.
When Steph arrives with an emergency.
2 is going to be a handful.
Plus, woolly monkey Pacaja takes motherhood in her stride. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I know, this is a big leap of faith. I know.
The park provides a home for more than 260 monkeys and apes from 24 different species. It's been less than 24 hours since female loris Nicky gave birth to twins. One of them had been left by mum, and the team had to step in to help. Alison's been caring for it through the night.
Overall, it wasn't too bad. The little one is already getting the idea of the pipette. I'm using a dropper to feed it rather than a syringe or a bottle or anything like that, so that only a drop of half-strength milk at the moment goes in its mouth when its mouth is open. But basically, I'm dropping milk into its mouth as it's, clicking, shouting, and talking it to me. So we don't have any meaningful eating, but it's being given, I think, what it needs. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but day 1, I think we've done okay.
Very little is known about hand-rearing lorises, so taking on the care of this baby was the last thing Alison wanted to do.
The responsibility's quite stressful. The practicalities of just doing it are exhausting. So and it doesn't stop. It's 24/7 that this little thing needs care and attention. So nobody should think that this is a wonderful or lovely thing. The babies, the animals, the primates are lovely, beautiful, but they're beautiful in their own way and should be with their own kind.
I gotcha.
Regular weight checks will help show if the infant's getting enough nourishment.
Yep, let go.
33, 34, so still the same. So we haven't lost weight, so really pleased with that. It means that this little one, even though it's been peeing quite a lot, hasn't. I've been striking a balance at least.
The youngster is being fed a mixture of half formula milk and half water.
I know, here you go. That tastes good. Is it a good temperature? Yep, good. And after this, he or she should just crash out nicely. Good one. That was great. Excellent job. Look at you. Yeah. Hang on, come on, one more. That's it, good boy or girl. Yes, good one. One more. Yeah.
The baby's sex may not be determined for a few weeks, so Alison has given it a temporary name for now.
I think we might actually call little one Bob for now, because we don't know whether it's a boy or a girl. In the finest Blackadder tradition, I think we'll stick with Bob for now. And sort of hoping that it is a little boy in this instance, so that Nora and Bob could become a pair. But that's a long ways off, little one, huh?
It's still very early days, but Alison is feeling optimistic about Bob's chances of survival. The baby's twin sibling is still clinging on to loris mum Nicky. but the team are keeping a constant watch in case anything goes wrong. Autumn has arrived at the park, and temperatures are on the wane. The chillier weather means some of the primates are opting to stay indoors. But down at the Capuchin Lodge, the staff are bringing the outdoors indoors. They've collected big bags of leaves to cover the floor of the indoor playroom. Rather sneakily, primate care worker Jill is hiding one of their favourite foods amongst the dead leaves. Live insects.
These guys love foraging. They're busy all day doing this, looking for insects and other invertebrates, things like that. So, yeah, we're going to chuck them all around the playroom, see if they have fun.
The capuchins will need to use their natural skills to forage through the piles of leaves and find the insects, just like they would in their forest habitat, if they were still in the wild. Leader of the group, Erico, is first in. As the dominant male, he's determined to check out anything new in the playroom before the others. Second in command, Sean, follows, and both high rankers get to work enthusiastically foraging for tasty worms. Erico's strategy is a bit questionable, but it's pretty typical of a dominant male, showing off his strength and prowess as he frantically searches for the bugs. Female Phoenix stays up high out of the way, foraging for the grubs, and creating quite the autumnal scene as the leaves come cascading down on Sean, who seems oblivious to what's going on above him. Cara watches safely from a distance, enjoying tucking into her mealworms. Sean decides to attack the large tubs next. He was the leader before Erico arrived, but seems quite content as number 2. He gets most of the perks, but none of the responsibility of leading the group. Erico was one of 88 Chilean laboratory capuchins that arrived at the park 11 years ago. He's super bright and obsessed with opening and closing bolt slides. Primate care worker Jill had a specially designed piece of equipment made just for him. It's called a fiddle barrel, and it's covered in nuts, bolts and locks of all shapes and sizes, perfect for an active mind. But today, Erico just has eyes on the prize: tasty worms. Some of the low rankers, like Scarlet and Binty, arrive to take a look. They must wait their turn until the higher rankers have had their fill. But there are plenty of the wriggly treats for everyone to enjoy. Although finding the leftovers hidden in the leaves will keep them busy. It's been a few weeks since Alison and Jeremy rescued female chimpanzee Nari from a government wildlife centre in Thailand. The former circus chimp, thought to be about 22 years old, had lived alone in a cage for many years following a life of abuse. But to the delight and surprise of the care team, she's really settled in at the park. Nari's first introduction was to Lulu, and they got on famously.
Good girls. Nice one, ladies.
And she behaved perfectly during her meeting with young male Rodders, despite his noisy and fractious reaction. For the past 2 days, Nari has been getting to know the big man of the group, Bryan. Again, she's surprised everyone with how quickly she's learning to be part of chimp society.
Nari's just phenomenal, given how many years she's spent on her own. Her chimpanzee behaviour's really good, and she's doing all the right things, and they've had some lovely play sessions. She just seems to have the right instincts, and, you know, she's presenting to him. She's being submissive when she needs to. She is happy to have a full-on play session, so she can handle herself around the bigger chimps. So, yeah, really impressed by her and how resilient she is and how she's interacting with the chimps that she's met so far.
Today is another big milestone in Nari's rehabilitation. She's going to be let out into the big enclosure. The team are aware this could be the first time she's been properly outdoors and able to move freely since being stolen from her mother as an infant in the wild.
For Nari, it's going to be a whole lot for her to take in. She's been looking out the window and sort of can see what goes on outside. But she's never had all of the natural soil and grass under her feet. The climbing frame is quite a big, large, tall structure. Her skills and her fitness are not great yet. That'll come with time, but what she lacks for in fitness and skills, she makes up for in attitude and confidence. So giving her the freedom to be outside is just the next step in something that we've all been dreaming of.
Here she comes.
All right. Nari! Hi, you!
A cautious Nari has a good look round before taking her first steps into the outside enclosure. She stays on the ground at first, sensibly assessing the scene in front of her. Waiting for her in the enclosure are her two companions, Lulu and Bryan, who were let out earlier. Even one of Bryan's infamous displays doesn't seem to faze Nari. When she does start climbing, it's as if she's been doing it for years.
Nari is living true to form. She's just confident as can be to walk out here. Out through the door, no problem, grass, open area, and straight up that climbing frame. It's just amazing. So, I'm sure she's got a little bit of nerves inside, but she doesn't let it show. And only thing left for Nari at this point is to reassemble the group around her. And Rodders and Ash, because they're young and feisty, are going to be a little more effort and take time. But we've turned the tables now. This is now Bryan, Nari, and Lulu's group, and Rodders and Ash are going to have to fall into line until they decide they want to join the party. But can't be happier. Couldn't be a better day.
Nari isn't the only new chimp at the park. Young female Toprish arrived a few months ago from a zoo in Turkey. Having had no previous contact with adult chimps and with little knowledge of chimp etiquette. She's now met many of Bart's group, who'll become her new family. Despite having been at the park longer than Nari, she isn't quite as settled. But then there are 16 chimps in this group to make friends with. However, she is beginning to enjoy sessions in the playroom with some of the other chimps, including high ranker Beth, who will be a useful ally to have on her side. It's a big day for a little orangutan. Hujan arrived at the park from Krefeld Zoo in Germany just 2 months ago. In that time, he's settled into Tuan's group remarkably well and has already met the 3 adult ladies, Lucky, Ame, and RoRo. And he's had a chance to pal up with younger female and playmate Awan. But this morning, he too is about to take a major step in his orangutan education, with the chance to investigate the big outdoor enclosure for the first time.
He's doing great. He's doing really, really well. And so far, he's been pretty healthy and he's pretty active as well. Now, next step, which is try to get him out and about to enclosure to get fresh air and exploring outside and see how good his climbing skill, because that is the crucial part.
The enclosure is a huge space with a large climbing frame and a mass of hoses, which enable the orangutans to move around. While Hujan has demonstrated his climbing abilities indoors, the outdoor apparatus will be a completely different prospect. To help him overcome any reservations, he'll be going out with Lucky. She's already very attentive and can give him a helping hand if needed. Jarno opens the slide to the enclosure, and Lucky wastes no time heading out. Her first priority is the breakfast feed scattered around. Jarno tries to encourage Hujan to follow. He's reluctant at first, but Lucky suddenly realizes the little man hasn't followed her out. She heads back to find him. It's exactly the encouragement Hujan needed. After a few careful looks, he garners his courage and tentatively steps out, making a beeline for Lucky, much to the delight of keeper Jarno. Lucky's maternal instincts have triumphed, which is just as well. Hujan isn't letting go. She plays mum, demonstrating great patience as she allows the youngster to stay close while they navigate their way around the enclosure. And when Hujan attempts to climb one of the low platforms, he gets a helping hand. Lucky's reward is a big loving hug.
The enclosure is definitely a bit too big for him, bless him, and we need to modify more to get the best out of him. We want him to be able to move freely. We know that he can climb, but in the same time as well, we learn from that we need to add more climbing frame, add more hose, anything that will encourage him move even more better than today's.
Eventually, Hujan is brave enough to leave Lucky's side and explore a little on his own. But she stays close behind, keeping a watchful eye and offering support. And when the youngster overreaches, she's there to catch him. Hujan's first steps into the outside world have been a success, thanks to his adoring auntie. In the coming weeks, the team will make a few adaptations to the enclosure so he can build his confidence and strength. Then he'll be ready to meet the leader of the group, big male orangutan, Tuan. Monkey World is first and foremost a rescue and rehabilitation centre for unwanted, abused and illegally kept primates. In the last 30 years, it's grown beyond anyone's expectations, and space is at a premium. It's the reason why the park rarely breeds any of the primates it rescues. However, there are two exceptions, the Bengal slow lorises and the woolly monkeys, both part of European breeding programs. There are only 40 woolies in captivity in the world, which makes this morning's news particularly exciting. Pacaja has given birth.
Both are doing really, really well. Pacaja's a really experienced mum, so we've just kind of left her to it. Baby's doing really well, all the natural signs of gripping on, and we have seen suckling, so we're really happy.
This is her third baby, having successfully reared her first two, Oriana and Claude. The team are so confident in her abilities, she's already been given access to the outside enclosure. Claude is 2 years old and only just fully weaned. He's still keen for mum's attention, and Pacaja is relaxed and patient with him. But today, with her hands full, play sessions are definitely out of the question. The leader and the dominant male of the group is Paolo, but he rarely shows interest in the females, so the team are pretty certain Enzo is the dad of Pacaja's new infant.
We have seen Enzo mating Pacaja for quite a substantial amount of time. He's also built up quite a strong bond with Pacaja in the last year or so. He'll groom with her and her youngsters, and they are quite a nice little foursome as they move around the group. However, Paolo has absolutely no idea what's going on around him most of the time, so they are nice and settled, and it's really nice to see Enzo getting involved with Pacaja and her new little arrival.
The team aren't sure yet if the youngster is a boy or a girl.
it's still too early to say. A girl is exactly what we'd want. We really need more females in our breeding programme. But we'll love a boy just the same, but we have everything crossed that we have a little girl on our hands.
Male or female, this birth is another huge success for the team in their mission to learn more about the care and needs of this highly endangered species. At the park's head office, primate care member Steph has an emergency on her hands. Wrapped in a blanket and keeping warm under her coat, Steph is carrying the second of the twins born to Loris' mum Nicky just yesterday.
Nicky's not been doing too well with this little one. She's tried to feed a few times. It's looked like maybe he's been suckling, but he's been gradually getting weaker throughout the day. They've already taken one tumble, but she did go down to the floor and pick him up again. But yeah, he was left dangling on a cable tie for the last sort of 10-15 minutes and then dropped. So we've made the decision to bring him out and bring him on ourselves, because I don't think he would have had much of a chance if we haven't done that.
Alison has already begun the difficult task of hand-rearing the first twin, nicknamed Bob. The prospect of having to do the same with Bob's brother or sister is daunting.
Yeah, I've never done anything so small, nor have I done two at a time. So it's going to be a voyage of discovery.
Keeping a check on the baby's weight will help the team know the infant is feeding properly.
It might be bigger. Sorry, little one. Need to know. Yeah. 3, 6, I can go in with.
This little one has been clinging onto mum for nearly 24 hours, but the team aren't certain if it's been suckling.
We made the decision to retrieve it this time because I think had we not, we probably would have come in to find it not with us in the morning.
Telling the twins apart is going to be difficult.
This is thin and delicate and white. Got fatter white.
Are you fat face?
Fatter faced, yes. Yeah. 2 is going to be a handful.
Hand-rearing both twins will be hard work, but Alison is also concerned for their mum, Nicky.
Tragic, but hopefully we can come away from this after a bit of hard work on our part and make this right and turn it around. But we'll see how we go here. But the whole thing's just terribly sad.
Next time on Monkey Life, new chimp Toprish finds the great outdoors a bit of a shock as her new friends offer their support.
They're giving the reassurance that she's asking for. Yeah, it's good.
And the capuchins take on a snake in the grass.